8 years ago, I received a phone call from one of my family members, a woman that I loved so deeply, when she said, "I don't want to live anymore. I've cut myself many times today already." The people around her were turning away. "That is selfish. You're just being a narcissist. Get over it. You're so dramatic." At that moment, she wasn't just in pain. She was being told that her pain didn't deserve to be cared for and acknowledged. And to be honest, I didn't understand either. I thought that maybe tough love, like the one we have in most Asian countries, as in spare the rod, spoil the child, thương cho roi cho vọt, would shake her out of it. But it didn't work that way. She kept hurting. And by the time that she made her third attempt, I finally realized she was never the problem. The problem was that none of us knew how to listen. And that's why I'm here today to tell you how anyone can save a life. My name is Huy, and I'm a crisis counselor at a crisis intervention unit, working with people with suicidal intents and thoughts and behaviors. When we heard the word first responder, we all think of flashing lights, sirens, police officers, paramedics, crisis counselors like myself. But what if I told you that you sitting right here could somehow be a first responder too, every day, every moment? It's when we choose to listen, to notice, and to ask to stay present with a person in crisis. And from my experience, crisis intervention doesn't always have to happen in hospitals or in mental health clinics or community health centers. It can happen, sometimes it can happen in kitchens, in living rooms, in classrooms, or even in workplaces when we choose to listen and to stay by the person in crisis. And as the work that I've been trained to do and work every day as a crisis counselor, we often follow a formula: ask, persuade, and assist. That is APA, if you're a psychology major. That sounds familiar. Most of the time, the signs of distress don't always appear in neat bullet points. Sometimes it can be very subtle, and sometimes it does take time for us to notice. It can be a family member who making dark jokes about life. "Oh, I don't think that I need to be here. I want to, somehow disappear." Or maybe a coworker, who just seems off, or a friend who just withdrawing. And this is for you to understand that most of the time, the signs of distress don't always appear in bullet points, like I said. And one of the misconceptions that I heard from people around is that people in crisis or people with suicidal intents or thoughts, they don't share their plans with others. They do, but the signs can be subtle, and it does take time for us to notice. And we see familiar patterns in loneliness, insomnia, like sleeping difficulties, bullying, especially online bullying, if you use social media nowadays. Does it sound familiar? Show of hands. Yeah, it's not familiar, right? But we also see that, power, and also the powerful that we have, the power that we have, which I call protective factors in empathy, connection, and listening. And for the first half of 2025, I bet that you heard some of the suicide incidents across all regions in Vietnam, especially in big cities. And one day, one of the social workers, he asked me one quite heavy question: what if someone wants to die? Are we stopping them from what they want? Are we stopping them from what they want? And I paused a little bit, and I was stunned because he was raising such an important question, and that question was so heavy. And to which I responded: when someone is in crisis, they often trap in a tunnel vision. And that tunnel vision can lead to a self-destructive cycle. My role as a crisis counselor, and your role as a family member, a friend, a co-worker, you don't have to help them solve anything or everything. You just need to be by themselves and to help them expand that view. And once they see more than just one possible future, it feels like they have the ownership and also the decision to make. And it's by staying present by themselves, by the person in crisis, you help them see that more than just one possible future and somehow get out that self-destructive cycles. And that is so important. Global suicides in 2019 occur across all regions in the world. However, according to the World Health Organization, over 3/4, that is 77% of global suicides, occur in low and middle income countries. Are you curious what it looks like in Vietnam? Yeah? So in Vietnam, according to the World Health Organization as well, in 2019, we have 7,500 people die by suicide each year. And when we do the calculations, when we do the math, that is about 20 lives we lost each day to suicide. Every single day passed by, we have 20 lives lost. That is such an unfortunate and very heavy statistics that as a crisis counselor, I would never want to hear that number. I will remember one day when a young woman who reached out to our crisis line late at night, she didn't start by saying, I'm suicidal. She simply said, I'm tired, but not that kind of tired from a bad day or from running or from your exercise, but tired of just existing. I didn't rush to fix her. I didn't give out all interventions. I simply asked her one question. Can you tell me more? And that question became a lifeline. She began to talk. She elaborated on what she's going through. I listened, and then I reflected back her feelings. It sounds like you feel invisible, and no one around you seems to understand and listen to you. And she said yes, and for the first time in weeks, she felt like someone finally allowed that space for her to open up without forcing her to feel a certain way. And that's why I'm here today to share with you one important motto. I'm not standing here to tell you to replace professionals, to replace myself, to replace all the first responders. I'm here to encourage you to just be that person who chooses to ask questions, to notice, and to stay by the person in crisis until the lights come back. So here's the motto. And this motto is simplified so that you can forget everything that I said today, but I hope that you take away this motto. That is BEAM, B-E-A-M, as in beaming light, beaming smile, because we want to, at the end of the day, to bring that smile to yourself and to the people around you. And remember, for this motto to work, it is so important for us to create a safe and private space, not this space, because too many people, but like a very safe and intimate so that they feel comfortable to open up and sharing what they're going through with you without having to fear that, oh, that person is judging me, or maybe am I saying too much, or I am being too dramatic, I am being, is it all in my head, or something like that. So for the first B is be aware and notice the cues. So in the work that I do, I notice that most of the time, there are 3 cues for you to notice. The first one is verbal cues, like something we said. I don't want to live anymore. I can't do this anymore. You be better without me. Or we also have behavioral changes, like someone suddenly, isolate themselves from the community, from their family, or maybe someone give away possessions, or, loneliness and isolation, and especially those who have previous suicidal, attempts. The third one would be situational triggers. For example, moving to a new school, moving to a new city, you feel that loneliness in a new city, or even, job loss of a loved ones, or maybe postpartum conditions for pregnant women, and bullying, like I mentioned, online bullying. Those 3 are the red flags that we need to notice. Noticing the cues is so important. I can't emphasize that enough, because when you see that something is not going right, you need to raise questions and to stay by the person in crisis, because you need to remove any dangerous items, such as poisons, medications, sharp objects like knives, scissors, so that we stay by that person and make sure that they are not hurt and they are safe with you until help is secured. And remember, safety first always. You don't have to say everything. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to say the most amazing, encouraging things. But you need to make sure that they are safe. Even silence can help you just by being by that person, help that person become safe, be safe until help is secured. And engage. Are you curious what engage means? Engage is to ask thoughtful and open-ended questions. So when they share that question with you, after you raise the question, can you tell me more, or do you feel comfortable sharing that with me? You might wonder, after I initiate a conversation, how do I keep the conversation going? This is where what you learn in your English 101 or your literature class might come to help. 5W and 1H, does this sound familiar? Who, what, when, where, and how. Who do you feel most comfortable talking to right now? Where do you feel safest? And how I'm going to support you at this moment. Those questions are going to help them explore all the stories and also help them be safe until help is secure. I would always emphasize that. And remember, this is not interrogation. This is not interrogation. They are your friend, your family member, your coworker, or the person that you love so deeply. So try not to see them as a suspect by asking too many questions. This is not an interrogation. This is a connection between human beings. And the third one would be actively listen. You show your listening by not just by using your ears, but also by using simple reflections and focus on their feelings, on what they share without giving any judgment. It sounds like you feel hopeless. It sounds like you feel intimidated. It sounds like no one around you understands what you're going through. I'm here with you, and well, I'm not going to solve everything, but I'm here with you, and that is important. And the fourth letter is make time. Make time to stay and refer to professional help. Of course, I'm not standing here to tell you to solve everything, and you shouldn't have that expectations for yourself or for others. We don't have to solve everything. Just you stay present by the person in crisis is enough, and there will be more solutions with the person around them as well. So this is the model that I would like to introduce to you. Be aware, engage, actively listen, and make time to stay and refer to professional help. And when you make time to stay, remember to prepare resources for them, such as if you need to call an ambulance, or you need to call the police officer, or you need to call the family member, please do so. But before doing that, maybe ask them, who do you feel most comfortable talking to right now, and who should I contact at this moment, so that they have that choice and they have that decision to make without us forcing them to, oh, I have to call this person, I have to call that person. Give them the choice, or maybe choices to make. Okay, so this is a very heavy topic, and it's not easy for us to listen, but I think that is so important because suicide is something out there, and sometimes for Asian countries or even for Vietnam, we don't talk about that because we are afraid and we feel like it's a sensitive topic, and sometimes we feel like we're not equipped to talk about it, but by you igniting that conversation is already enough. And before I end the sharing today, would you like to pause with me with some deep breath? Okay. All right. Okay. Whenever you're ready, feet on the ground, and try to be comfortable as you like, whether you're standing, sitting, or just get yourself comfortable. And you may close your eyes gently if you like. And take a deep first breath in and out. On this first breath, I encourage you to think of someone you love. That could be your parents, your sisters, your brothers, your friend, or that could be your teddy bear or anything that you love so deeply. And now take a second breath in and out. On the second breath, I invite you to think of someone, something that makes you feel loved. And take a deep breath in and out. On this third breath, remind yourself that my life has value. And when you're ready, open your eyes. How do we feel now? Right? So, from my experience, change begins with just one breath. The moment that you take a breath, always remind yourself that my life matters, so does the life of the person next to you, to the left, to the right, to the front, to the back, and the person that is not right here with you in this stage. Your life matters. Please carry that reminder forward until no one is left behind. My name is Huy, and I'm a crisis counselor, and I'm here today. So happy to be with you. Thank you.